And on this episode of Split Screen, we will be watching a medieval love triangle go down in flames. Isn't love the plague? This is Split Screen. Hey everyone, and this is another episode of Split Screen.
Split Screen.
I'm Tony,
And I'm Don.
and today we will be watching what? Flesh and Blood?
Blood and Flesh?
Blood and
Blood
Flesh?
and Flesh?
I've been swapping the names this whole time.
I don't know why.
I-
This movie is amazing.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right.
Three things.
Well, wait, you didn't say what it was, though. I said
So which one is it?
Flesh and Blood.
Flesh and Blood.
1985, Flesh and Blood.
That's right.
Paul Verhoeven,
Mm-hmm.
Rutger Hauer, and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Oh.
And anyway, yeah, no, actually, tell a little bit about it. Give us a synopsis of what it is. I mean, the movie. You
All
know,
right.
nice and short. Try and do it short because we're on
I
a time here.
That's right. It was set in 1501, early modern Italy. It's a gritty, morally ambiguous adventure film directed by Paul Verhoeven.
Verhoeven. Total Recall, man.
That's right.
RoboCop. He's the
They
man.
really don't follow directors like that.
Starship Troopers.
That's a cult classic.
Oh, all of them are.
Yep.
Total Recall.
So, story follows a band of mercenaries led by Martin, who was hired by nobleman Afolfini to reclaim his city from a coup. Promised 24 hours of looting, the mercenaries succeed but are betrayed by Alfredini, who expels them without Stephen and accidentally kidnaps Stephen's fiancee, Agnes. So, if I go into the top three, I'll just start because my favorite thing about the movie is it's all about accountability and consequences. This is into the span of movies we watch, it was pretty long, and every decision rippled throughout not just the main characters, but even the entire band of mercenaries. I felt like everyone
leads them to their doom. Everybody gets their moment to end with this story. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
everybody had an ending, which was
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, there's so many little storylines with all of these characters, and it starts off really early, letting you know how their worlds are kind of intertwined and stuff like that. So it was really cool. Um, so I like that part. I also just like how strong every character was.
Mhm.
Like they were themselves. The Cardinal was the Cardinal that was doing his thing.
It was crazy.
Martin was Martin. You know,
hot.
Agnes was interesting.
Yep.
Because there's that part where what is it? She's talking to her maid, wondering like how to get it on and get busy.
Yeah.
And then she just takes it to heart. She discusses
That was pretty funny.
just boom.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I guess jealous when that was the other part that was weird. Because she told her to start it. And then
At I think the thing is at the beginning she's just a spoiled,
Yeah.
princess.
Yeah. Virginal.
And that would be what she would do.
Mhm.
But she had to grow up. Yeah.
And then her cherry got popped to a whole new world in many ways. And boy, did things change.
Remember, during this we have to not say the R word.
Okay.
So something else.
Well, you guys know what that is. And boy, was there a good amount of it.
Is that your third? There was a good amount of.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. For the third one, just I think well paced and well told. Like I understood like everything about everyone. They established little things very early with, Martin's sort of inability to die and always getting out of weird situations.
Was a man, wasn't he?
Yeah. And how, his kind of bravado is a good word, but how his actions always just kind of kept people moving, people going. And he got a lot of success out of a lot of his stuff, even though the Cardinal was attributing it to it being Saint Martin when they found this. Like, it's really well told. The fact that Steven is kind of not a fighter, but he's a little bit more on the smarter inventor side and how his kind of inventions come into play on how he handles the situation. So it's just really strong characterization.
Good. Sounds like you liked it.
It's all right.
It's all right. Well, you had three big praises.
Yeah.
So mine would be, this is one of my movies from when I was young. I think this came out in 85, so I would have been 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, at that age, you gravitate to movies like this. And this is 1985, so this movie is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
has no problem showing
Just
their
there anything.
body and how hard life was back then.
Mhm.
It was the total opposite to me of movies made today like this. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if you I couldn't bear watching that latest Robin Hood that came out a few years ago.
I did not see it.
So this place takes place during medieval times, and it
Mhm.
showed how hard their life was. I
Yeah.
mean, you've got a prostitute
Mhm.
who is pregnant, and she's saying Martin's the husband, but she's still a prostitute, so it could
Mhm.
be anybody's. And then, the
Boom, it's
the
dead.
miscarriage.
Yeah.
Um, this was a brutal movie, and
Mhm.
and at the end, the people, you know, most of the troop ends up, their story ends forever,
Mhm.
and it was again very strong the way they did it. My second one would be, um, well, I'm gonna say the actors. I mean, Rucker
Yeah.
Hauer, he was a man and is a man, and he just passed away not that long ago, and kind of a big loss because he was always been a great character actor,
Mhm.
and he definitely shined in this as he was a mercenary,
Mhm.
lower income, so uneducated, but he
Yeah.
was still smart, and I mean, he sold it. And same with Jennifer Jason Leigh, who this was one of her first films back in
Mhm.
the 80s. She had already done Fastmont, Richmond High, and a couple other small things. But, you know, talk about, I mean, the change from the beginning, like you said, with the maid
Mhm.
to the ending where, after she gets kidnapped, she went into survival mode and
Mhm.
ends up kind of falling in love with Rucker Hauer,
Yeah.
despite him doing horrible things to her. And yeah, so I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And then
Each in
number
his own
three,
weird way.
what would be number three? I thought it was beautiful. I mean, the sets were great, the costumes were amazing. No CGI, which in most movies today, everything's got that clean computer generated look.
Mhm.
Even when they try and like in Lord of the Rings when they would try and make it ugly, it still looked
Yeah.
very pretty. But this was gritty,
Mhm.
you know. So yeah, no, I give this movie high praise. Although I did read about the reviewers back then, and I
No,
watched a
the
couple.
people
They
hated.
did not like it. One of
No, it
them,
was so risque and
well,
so
they called it brutal,
yeah.
and because of the certain scenes that happen with Jennifer Jason Leigh,
Mm.
um, some people wanted it banned because you have a woman that's going through that, and she ends up pretending that she's liking it. But to me, she was just trying to sell what she was doing. I mean, that she was trying to survive,
Yeah.
and she was also trying to make sure that he didn't pass her off to everybody else in
Yeah.
their
And what
little
he even
company.
did was trying to be like
Yeah,
kind and then like you'll only go through it once.
yeah.
It'll only be me.
This British reviewer was like, I reported it to whatever council that rates movies or doesn't allow movies to be released because of content. The reviewer complained to him. It's like, oh, you can't release something like that. I'm like, yeah, you can. I mean, this was 85. By then, they already had The Exorcist, but this was a British film.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, high praise.
Absolutely.
All around, movie of my childhood that I wish more people remembered and,
Yeah.
look for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see most people being turned off by the overall content nowadays and just,
Oh, yeah,
how bad
definitely.
things get. And that there's a lot of even the kind of beginning principle of this starts off with the Lord lying because he promised this ridiculous thing to the mercenaries of looting and then that reduced his money. So everything was so it kind of promoted this like, oh, lie, get through, swindle if you need to, but in this kind of life,
Oop, sorry about that.
yeah, but in this kind of life, that's kind of all you had in many cases. There wasn't too many people who really fully stood by anything in terms of their need to like change up what they were doing based on what happened. Like for instance, Harkwood, in the very beginning during this raid, there's a gunshot. It almost hits him. They figure out who tried to shoot them.
Who's
Don't
that
kill
then?
him. Hmm?
You gotta have to tell people who that is.
Harkwood.
I
He's the
know, but what
captain
is
of the
it?
mercenaries.
He's,
Well, no,
well,
he's
no, he's
actually
the captain of the
the
king.
king that hired the
Yeah,
mercenaries.
he's the one that betrayed the mercenaries.
Yeah.
on behalf of the king in order to get a plot of land,
Yeah.
and he's also the one that ends up, you know, leading everybody, Howard Rucker Howard's little band of men, Martin's band of men and women to finally come to their end.
Yeah.
So he's a big part. He gets, after Jennifer, it starts out they get kicked out by the king.
Mhm.
They find a Saint Martin buried in the mud,
Mhm.
and uh, which just happens to be Martin's name as well.
Yeah.
So Martin becomes the de facto
Instant
leader.
connection.
They end up kidnapping. What's her name again in the movie? I know
Agnes.
Agnes. Agnes, who is a princess that's supposed to get married to the prince,
Mhm.
and she's got her own little quirks as well.
Yeah.
And so they end up taking over another castle that has the plague inside of it. They don't know, so they party it up on the inside, and then the king's captain, Harkwood,
Mhm.
uh, ends up catching the plague and almost dying.
Yeah.
But then he figures out he can just take some of the meat from a dog that got the plague. And
Yeah.
although were dogs susceptible to the plague back then?
I was
I
curious
have no
about
idea. I
that.
was going to look it up, but and also the gun in 1501, was there a gun? Did they have guns
Hmm.
in England? I mean, maybe back then they
Maybe.
might, because I'm pretty sure
I mean,
China,
if you
I
have
mean,
cannons,
Japan had one. It would be
so
pretty
weapons.
easy to figure out
Yeah.
a gun
If you got
if you
gunpowder
already
for
have
it.
cannons. So
Hmm.
I didn't bother to look it up, but I would think so.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean the whole thing's great. I mean
Yeah.
the ending battle where half the troop has plagues. Oh,
Hmm.
and one interesting thing. See, we got a difference of opinion here. There
Oh,
is a gay couple in this.
sure.
I did not find them to be just thrown in there. They were just there as part of Martin's group.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
misunderstood. I did not mean thrown in there as in
that's what he said
last
earlier.
minute. Well, no, I meant thrown in there as there was so much in this movie. I'm surprised they put that. Like that was also in there and it was like well told and hinted at and
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
back in the 80s, they were more just they would things would be in for that. And I'm sure it's because it slipped by or whatever, because the censors at the time were pretty crazy about stuff like that.
Mhm.
So it was nice to see because they were actually men, they were mercenaries,
Mhm.
um, and criminals. They weren't,
Yeah.
because I do have to say back then at this time, and I'm sure in 1501, they would have made them more over the top or flamboyant.
Mhm.
And they didn't do that. And it was good. And one of them gets the plague, the other one sacrifices himself because he can't live with him.
Yeah.
And that's just like a really small part. I mean,
But
just it's just there, which is what's nice. It's
yeah.
not thrown in your face, like, hey, he's my lover.
Yeah.
Like modern movies, Buddy Buddies Buddies does today, where like,
Uh,
oh, I'm a lesbian. And then they walk around the corner and they tell everybody else that they're a lesbian. You're like, oh,
check her
stop it.
phone.
Yeah. Check your check her messages. Benton said, "Oh yeah, that's a good line."
As she
Anyway,
died.
bodies, bodies, bodies is kind of a part of our review system. So
If it's that
if a
bad.
movie is bodies, 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 that's a zero. Okay.
All
So
right.
from now on, we're going to do increments. So we need to get like the best.
Okay.
We got the worst, bodies, bodies, bodies.
Sure.
And we do not recommend you doing anything other than watching our review on bodies, bodies, bodies. Because if you watch the movie, then you're just going to be upset at us. So, because you learned to go watch bodies, bodies, bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a
There's
reminder, we're doing
there's
trending
only
movies.
one good thing in that entire movie. Well, two. Check your messages.
Yeah.
And
Pete Davidson killed himself.
yeah.
Yeah. Which he's gonna be in a brand new horror movie soon.
Of course he is.
So
Another because this was so successful.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
time he gets back in there.
Yeah. I think they made this movie for some like cocaine and wine. Because bodies, bodies, bodies. This movie looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
1985. And I think I don't even remember what the budget was on this. Uh 6.5 million. It looks great, but then they filmed it over in Italy,
Oh
uh
wow.
whatever. So they had access to really good locations.
People are mad.
And sadly it bombed at the box office. But like I said, it's probably too brutal
Yeah.
for most people.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
I like dark stuff, so things like this doesn't bug me because that's part of real life, or certain eras of time. Shit's gonna be horrible.
Yeah.
Beautiful. for their type of livelihood. Yeah. Not to mention, the broken promise leading them to this kind of escalating thing where they're kind of just like eye for an eyeing each other in little weird ways.
Well, I'm
And
glad. I have to say, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you
yeah,
liked it because this one, I was kind of iffy whether or not you would think it was a good movie because
no,
it could be too long for some people
I
because
feel it used every minute of its time to really establish a pretty big cast of characters, which is
oh yeah,
something many
it
Nolan
really did.
things couldn't do. I mean,
I mean, they were simple characters. I mean, you had the prostitute, the
yeah,
mother, uh, the gay guys,
yeah,
the one that wanted to be Martin in
mhm.
Martin's place as the leader, and then the religious guy.
That's a lot.
Yeah, no,
You could cut like 10 of those out and, make a longer story with any of the other casts. But the fact that they fit that all in there, even the part where, what was the one that was really good? Like Cars being in love with the prostitute. So, like, it was just like really like random stuff where it's like, wow, there's so much interconnectivity
yeah.
in this mercenary group. They felt real, like real characters, even though they might have been kind of archetypes and
Mhm.
stereotypical. No, really strong.
Good. All right. Anything else you want to say about it? Or
Mm.
we're gonna let this one end?
This is one where you guys should probably just watch it. I also think, pay attention to it. You kind of miss a lot. I think it goes through pretty quickly. Everything everyone says is very important, whether it's building up to, the a rise and fall of Martin in terms of the belief he's kind of untouchable and driven by God or some
Mhm.
sort of saint into like the crash and burn. The way Agnes has a really big role, even though she's not
Yeah.
fighting or something. Her choices make varying different directions the story can go into, which is really cool. Even them breaking into that one castle was the only reason the plague was introduced because when they stormed that one castle and they parted it up, they
Mhm.
realized that girl had the plague, the captain gets it. Like it's this whole kind of snowballing effect
Yeah.
that leads to their downfall. Where if they had never made it in there, it wouldn't have happened. So it's really cool how
Mhm.
deliberate so much was. St. Martin, oh, he turned. He pointed at a castle.
Yeah.
Guess we'll raid it. It's like, really? What? You guys could have kept going. You could have said, oh, he fell because we hit a bump. Nope. St. Martin said it. So cool. It was really
All right.
cool.
So what's your rating? 1 to 5.
Mm, 4.
Okay. I agree. I give it a good solid 4. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not sure how it could be better than what it is, to get a 5. So, but I feel comfortable with a 4.
Hmm.
I mean, it's one of my favorite movies from when I was younger, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of sad no one
Yeah.
really
It's
remembers this.
unfortunate. There's a lot of work and
Well,
care about this
even if you look up
world.
reviews, other review sites on YouTube, um, there's almost no reviews on this.
Yeah. Well, here we are bringing this to you guys.
Yeah, because
So,
we're special.
yeah. Also, do us a
Got it.
favor when you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah,
Thank you if you already done so. But
and
check this out.
I do want to say one thing. Yeah, we might add this to our ending. YouTube responds off of thumbs up because they like people to interact with videos, and that counts toward the views.
Yeah.
So if you could give a thumbs up, or you know, leave a comment,
Yeah.
tell us we suck, tell us we don't.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tell us if you watched it, if you liked it, if you're one of the few out
if
there who knew
yeah,
this movie's existence,
if
let us know.
yeah, actually, one thing I want to say is, Jennifer Jason Lee walks around in this and naked quite a bit,
Mhm.
but it wasn't sexualized
No,
nakedness. It was part of the story. I kind of
yeah,
unlike today, modern movies, if anybody's naked, it's automatically sexualized. There's
yeah,
not a lot. I mean, even if we get that stuff, which we don't anymore.
mm,
So I thought that was pretty bold and amazing. But it was a different time, and they cared more about the story than the appearance.
mhm,
Yeah.
I agree.
So 4 and 4,
All
like,
right.
comment, subscribe,
Yeah,
and now we're gonna go out.
yep. We appreciate your time.
All right. Oh,
Have a good one.
I know. Thumbs up. Is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
We're done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm glad you like the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always will look at what they're trying to do,
Mm.
and then I'm like, oh, did they do it? If the answer is yes, I can't be mad.
Yeah. Well, pretty much.
And
Mm.
they did what they needed to do, even
Yeah,
if
but
I was like,
see, you're from a different time. By the time you were like old enough, you just, you know. Did you
I was
did
born one year after this movie
when you
came out.
s- when you saw this movie? and what happened in it, where you kind of like, yeesh, that's a lot. I can't believe they just did that to Jennifer Jason Lee, Agnes.
A little bit, but then I thought it was just true to the time. You know, you watch a Viking something, like a Viking thing. If they're not, then
You're not supposed to do that, so we're out of here.
well, this should all be cut anyway.